Hello learners, how are you today? I miss you guys, but I'm thankful for this forum that we are still going to learn and we are not going to miss a thing for third term. So I'm so excited to be with you today. For our first week, we are going to be learning about weaving. That's our topic for this week, weaving. And I'm going to take you through the process, what weaving is. That's what we're going to learn about today. We are also going to learn about the materials that are used for weaving, some woven products. I bet we are all familiar with weaving, especially the paper type of weaving, but today we're going to expand our knowledge better than the one we know before. So who is with me? Are you ready? Okay, so let's go. What is weaving? What is weaving? Weaving is generally defined as the interlacing of threads to create a piece of fabric. I'm going to repeat that again. Weaving is defined as interlacing, the act of interlacing threads to create a piece of fabric. But I want to really clarify some things here. When you're talking about weaving in general, that is general in the technical world, so to speak, weaving is restricted to the production of fabrics. But in art, it's strictly different, okay? So while the definition for weaving is the act of interlacing threads to create a fabric, in art, we create objects also using the weave pattern, okay? Or through weaving. So in art, we can say weaving is the act of interlacing threads to create a fabric or other objects. But I want you to know that weaving is mainly done for the production of fabrics in the technical world, but in the art world it's seriously different because we have a lot of craftwork that are produced by the weaving method. So are we clear on that? Are we clear on that? Okay, so I want you to tell me now, what is weaving? No spine. Okay, you are correct. So let's go again. What is weaving? Weaving is the act of interlacing threads to create a fabric or other objects. Now you might want to ask, what is interlacing? It might sound like a big grammar, right? I would like for you to look up your dictionary to be able to get the meaning of interlacing, but I'm going to try my best to explain what interlacing actually is. Interlacing is simply placing two different strings or threads, so to speak, over and under each other to create a tight bond between them. I'm going to explain it using these drink straws that are here with me right now. You see them? Okay, so here I have two drink straws. If I want to interlace, I can simply put this at the top. This goes to the top and the other passes through the bottom. I want you to see it very clearly. Do you see it now? That's interlacing. So you can do this. That's what interlacing really means. Passing threads over and under each other to create a tight bond. Okay, so now we know the meaning of weaving and we know what interlacing is, but I would still like for you to go and look up your dictionary to get a very clear meaning of what interlacing is. Okay, so now let's talk about what are the materials that are used for weaving. What do we use to weave? There are so many objects that are used for weaving, and we're going to be discussing about that. Sorry, not objects, so many materials that we can use to weave. Here you can see the picture. Are you seeing it? Okay, so let's go to the first one, which is straw. Straw is used for weaving. I have some here. You see it? Okay. Now, this straw is made from the bark of a plant, especially shrubs. Bark of a plant. I'm not talking about bark, okay? Seriously not. I'm talking about bark as in B-A-R-K. Bark. Bark, okay, of a plant. That's the woody part of a plant, the skin of it that's dried. It's called a straw. That's the first material that is used for weaving. Another material used for weaving again is the second one you see on the picture, paper. Do you see it? I know many of us are familiar with paper weaving. We weave mats for decorative purposes. Okay, so we also use wool. We all know the threads, wool threads that are used. Some of us use to, make our hair look so beautiful. Yes, that's wool. That type of wool is used for weaving, especially when it comes to crocheting, making of clothes and all that. Okay, and another thing that is used for weaving again is threads. Threads are used for weaving. Now, I want to talk about the next picture you see there. It's a human hair, right? Okay. Now, human hair is not woven into any product, but human hair can be woven for decorative purposes. We women, we like to look so beautiful, so we weave our hair to make it look beautiful. It's not necessarily for the production of anything, but for beautification. That's why I had to add it here, okay, because it's one material that can also be used for weaving. Last on the list is cane and reed. Cane and reed. Now you might want to ask, what is cane? What is reed? We all know the normal cane that mommy will carry to flog you if you are so naughty, right? Okay, that's the cane I am talking about. And reed is just a sheet of wood that is cut very thin that you can bend very well. Okay, so these two are simply referred to as rattan. So you can simply say, maybe if I ask you what is weaving, what is cane or reed, what materials are used for weaving, and you want to tell me it's cane or reed, you can simply say rattan. I will understand. Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay. So these are some of the materials that we can use for weaving. I want us to go through them again. The first one is straw. Like I said before, straw is made from plants, from the sticks or wooden parts of shrubs. That's the skin that covers it, dried up, and is used for weaving. We use paper for weaving. We use wool for weaving. We use threads for weaving. We can also weave the hair and rattan. So these are the materials that are generally used for weaving. Now I want you to think and tell me two materials that are used for weaving. Okay, waiting. Okay, thumbs up. Okay, so now we know some materials that are used for weaving. The next question is, what can be woven? What are the objects or products of weaving? Okay, that's what we are going to be discussing next. Products of weaving. Now I just gave you a few pictures. You can weave way more than these products, and I would like you, before I go through them, I would like you on your own to search for other objects that can be woven. Okay, so the first one here we have is a mat. I know we are all familiar with this type of mat. So a mat can be woven. The next one on after the mat is a basket. You can weave a basket. I know we are all familiar with this Ratan basket that is used especially during Christmas periods, that is used to carry hampers. Are we familiar with that? Yes, that type of basket. So it's made with rattan. It's woven, usually woven. The next is a bag. Bags can also be woven. Another product of weaving is the hats that we put on. Sometimes farmers put them on, or ladies put them on just to look good. Next is a tray. Now this one is a fancy tray, right? When you go to the market, you find women, especially those who sells fish, who sells rice, beans, they love using rattan trays. So when you go to the market, you will find such. This one is a fancy one. Trays can be woven. Shoes can also be woven. Yes, you can see a picture of a shoe right there, right? Okay. Now the next one is a decorative piece. What do I mean by decorative piece? It's a piece of artwork that is created solely for decoration of a home or the office. So you can see the picture here of straw that was used to create a decorative piece on the wall. The next is fabrics. Yes, the clothes, the fabrics that is used to make our clothes, they are all woven products. Okay, they are all woven products. Whatever type of fabric that you are putting on, it is woven. So, and the last on my list here is jewelries. Jewelries can be made with weaving method. Okay, so here is this is just a few of the things that can be woven. Okay, like I said before, on your own, go and search for more things that are woven, more products that are woven. I just listed few for us to see. Okay, so now what are the things that we use for weaving? What are the things that can be used for weaving? First, I want to let you know is that weaving is traditionally done with the hands. Okay, but there are some tools that can aid the process, that can assist the process of weaving. Okay, and we're going to be discussing about those tools very soon. Then there are also equipments that can be used for weaving. That is because most times we go to the market, we buy materials, right? Now, how are those materials produced in large quantities? How do we get them? It's because there are industrial weaving machines, automated ones, that weaves in large quantities so that people can easily buy whenever they want. And a person who weaves is called a weaver. A person who weaves is called a weaver. Is that okay? Okay. So, like I said before, we're going to be talking about some tools that are used for weaving, and then the equipment. What are these tools? What are these equipments that are used for weaving? Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about now. The first one here is crocheting needles. Crocheting needles. Now, there is a type of weaving that is called crocheting. It's more like a lacy type of weaving that is done by using this needle and wool threads by hand. Okay, if we were together, I had planned that we are going to be doing that, but since we can't be together now, we are going to be doing all the types of weaving. So the crocheting needle is used for weaving. Another tool that is used for weaving is knitting pins. Knitting pins, they come in different types, different sizes, just like the crocheting needles too. You can see they all come, have them from the smallest to the biggest or the largest here. Same thing for knitting pins. They help to assist the weaver in weaving. Helps them to be able to, you know, weave different patterns that they desire to weave. Now, this picture you see here is called a loom. I'm going to pronounce it again. It's called a loom. Now, what is a loom used for? A loom is used for weaving. It can be small, it can be big or large. Sometimes you can even get a loom as tiny as this, as wide as my hand, okay? But basically it is used for weaving, okay? So no matter how the pattern a loom comes in, it is basically used for weaving large quantities of clothes. But depending on the size anyway, if it's big, then you can weave a very, very big piece of fabric. If it's not so big, then you can only be able to weave a very, very small sized fabric, okay? So that's the loom. This is a wooden loom, and the wooden loom comes with accessories. You can see these three little wooden accessories at the bottom here, holding threads, right? Different colors of threads, okay? So here we have them. You have the threaders, you have the beaters. The beaters looks like comb. You see that one over there that looks like a comb? That is used for pressing the woven threads close together to create a very, very tight bond so that they don't come apart after you finish weaving. While the other three there are used for passing threads easily as you weave. Okay, so these are some loom accessories. They are basically used alongside the loom when weaving. Okay, so here is an industrial loom. Do you see how big it is? It's like covering up a whole lot of space, bigger than a room. You can find industrial looms as large as a whole building. That's the simple truth. As large as a whole building. Why? Because they are used for producing, in fact, very, very large quantities, so to speak, of fabrics. So this is basically an industrial loom. This one is fully automated. What do I mean by fully automated? It is not manned by a person. The machine does the work itself. As soon as you set it, it is good to go and start weaving. That's what I mean by automated. Is that okay? Okay. So, we have talked about some weaving tools and equipment. Can you tell me some now? Let me go back a little bit. So, what are some weaving tools? I'll go with the tools first. What are some weaving tools? Okay, that's good. We have basically knitting pins and crocheting needles. Okay, so now to equipment. What are some weaving equipment do you know? Thumbs up. The loom. Very good. And remember, we have the basic loom that can be made with wood and the fully automated loom that is electronically operated, that creates large quantities of fabrics. Okay, now what is the importance of weaving? Why weave? What's the usefulness of weaving to the society we are at large? Is it necessary? The answer is yes, because weaving is used to produce useful products that we need in our daily life. Useful products that we need in our daily life. What do I mean by useful products? Imagine you want to give somebody a beautiful hamper, so to say, and you carry a basin and put everything on it, put it on your head. It won't look nice, will it? No. So it's used for creating useful objects, just like the baskets that are made for hampers. Okay, now we have clothes that we're wearing because of weaving, which is very, very useful to us. Fishing traps are also made by the weaving method. Mats are made for either you lie on it, or is used to create temporary shelters. What do I mean by temporary shelters? Temporary shelters are those places that you just build for a little period of time, then after using it you just go and dismantle or scatter it. That's what I mean. Most times it's used for shade. Okay, now weaving is also important to the society because it increases the beauty of a person. Imagine somebody that is wearing a very beautiful woven hat. It enhances the beauty of the person, right? Okay, even the clothes we put on, they are all woven products. It makes us look beautiful. So beauty enhances weaving enhances the beauty of a person. Okay, then another thing, weaving is a source of income. Imagine those, if you know how to weave, let me say sweaters, like the school sweater that we wear, that you are always given, that drives the cold away. It's woven by a person, and the person who weaves that is paid an amount of money for providing such services, isn't it? Or a woven shoe, for example, you pay money to acquire it. So it serves as a source of income to those who engage in it. Now it is also used to decorate a home or office. Remember what I told you about decorative piece? It can just be placed on the wall and it's used for decorating a place. Weaving also serves as a hobby. What do I mean by hobby? A hobby is something that you enjoy doing. You enjoy doing it. So it serves as a hobby. It keeps a person occupied. Not necessarily because they want to make money from it, but because it's, they just enjoy doing it. So that's what I mean by a hobby. Weaving serves as a hobby for some people. So that is it for weaving. Before I leave, I would like for you to answer these questions. Now, the first question here is, what is weaving? Beautiful. Okay. Weaving is the act of interlacing threads to create a piece of fabric or other objects. Okay. Now, second question, list 3 materials that can be used for weaving. Beautiful. Okay. Materials that can be used for weaving are straw, wool or paper. So I'm going to leave you with these other questions. Please, I would like you to copy this in your notes and answer these questions into your notes. I believe you all have your drawing books with you at home, so please do that, okay? And also reply so that I will be able to go through and assess your work. No spine, no spine. So read up. You can watch this again. You can come back to the class and watch this again to refresh your memory, okay? So go through the questions, write them out, and provide the answers and submit. Okay, children, this is where I draw the curtain on my lesson today. As always, you know the times we are in, so always wash your hands and put on your face mask whenever you're leaving the house. Be safe. See ya!